Hey everybody, Artsy Dude here. Welcome to the Artsy Dude channel once again. It's the place where creativity is more important than knowledge, but the acquisition of great knowledge, it's an art form, and the two go hand in hand. Thank you for visiting the studio again somewhere here in these great United States of America. Hey, I want to do a quick shout out to Planet Lupo and Gray Chapel. They both commented on my last video and they had kind words to say, and I do appreciate it. So a shout out to Gray Chapel and Planet Lupo. Thank you guys, or gals as it were. I don't know which one you are, or if you're in between, that's cool too. Hey, I listened to Linda Moulton Howe's show last night. She had a couple of guests on, and the conversation revolved around the evil component of the alien intervention, okay? And it's very interesting. She had some scholars on, and they were talking about something that Luis Elizondo from To the Stars Academy spoke about very clearly in one of his presentations and multiple times over the past few months, that his superiors in the government, in the Pentagon, were afraid to move forward with anything because they felt that, with regard to disclosure, because they felt that there was this evil or demonic angle to this whole thing. And, we laugh about that. We think, oh my God, what a bunch of, far-right Christian, fanatics. But you got to wonder, I mean, really, let's just talk about it for a few minutes. I mean, we can believe in, thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people will flock to Corey Goode and his Blue Avian story, and they'll believe that in a heartbeat with no proof whatsoever. So let's talk about the evil component of aliens. Now, Buddy over at Alien Protocols, my good friend, would disagree with me. He is a proponent of all goodness and all peace and all beauty and goodness, and that's a good thing. And I love Buddy, and I wished I could be more like him in his belief that aliens are all peaceful. But I don't. I wonder. And again, I've said this before in some of my earlier videos. I said it in my last video. I grew up a conservative Catholic, big household, a brother who's a Catholic priest, a brother who's a Jesuit. So I know a lot about Catholicism. I know a lot about the history of demons and how it plays through the ideology of what we're being taught or what we have been taught with regard to Christianity. So, there's a lot of people talking about this, scholars now. We get into this whole thing about interdimensionality, where these beings are traveling interdimensionally and they're able to move through time and space. And, Dr. Edgar Mitchell in his book, Beyond UFOs, speaks of that, these non-human intelligences, NHIs. So he speaks about them. And, you have to wonder, let's just talk about it for a minute. What if there is an evil component? Now, if you believe, or if you've heard the stories about good and evil, right? You don't have to be a Christian to know this. I mean, in our mainstream media, we see this all the time. We see it played out in Star Wars, in the Star Wars trilogies, in the stories of Star Wars. There's good and evil. We see it played out in Lord of the Rings. There's good and evil. We see it played out in the Star Trek episodes. There's always a good and evil component. And we see it played out Harry Potter, the good and evil, again, light and dark. So if there are physical, biological beings visiting our planet and have been visiting our planet for years and years, thousands of years, that may be one component. But if there's an interdimensional play, if there's an interdimensional angle on this whole thing, and they happen to be evil, who's to say, right? I mean, we really don't know. We all speculate, we all talk about this stuff, but we don't really know. On the Linda Moulton Howe show, Linda was talking about a friend of hers who is a insider who worked on this construction project in Sedona, Arizona, where they built a brick building out in the rural area outside of Sedona, Arizona. Now, we all know that Sedona has these waves out there. It's sort of a area of portals of different wave patterns, and I'm trying to look for the specific word, but I'm not finding it at the moment. At any rate, she speaks about a man who worked on a construction project. They built a brick building, a windowless brick building out in the rural area of Sedona, Arizona. There's a machine within inside that building, this gentleman tells Linda Moulton Howe, that is a prevention measure. It keeps these portals stable so that they don't crash. What they're concerned about, the government that built this particular building in this particular space, in this particular area of the United States, is that if that portal crashes, what will come through it? And according to this gentleman, the things that are out there in some of the different dimensions are horrid and freaky, and we just can't even imagine the depths of how crazy they are. Now, look, I'm just an average guy. I'm an artist. Yes, my imagination wanders, but when you hear things like that, you have to wonder, what if there is a component of this whole ufology, this whole ufological genre that we talk about, that we're in, that is evil? And if you grow up like I did, learning about demonology and the devil and the fallen angels and the Book of Enoch and everything else out there, then you know that the devil is the best magician, the best trickster, if you will, than anything. So if there are, I guess my point is this, if there are real biological aliens visiting our planet, numerous ones, and they're here, some of them, as Buddy from Alien Protocols would say, to help our biosphere, and that's a beautiful thing. If they are here for that, then what a great vehicle for a demon or a demon-like entity from an interdimensional space to latch onto. Hey, look, the whole world is waiting for blue avians, and they're waiting for all of these aliens to come and save us and teach us this great new technology, and they're going to give us all of these, these great gifts from the galaxies, from the universe. And we stand here with our arms up and we go, woo, can't wait till they get here. Where's the blue avians, right? I mean, I'm just saying, people believe in that kind of stuff. Why not at least give the thought, the prospect, that there could be an evil component to this whole genre? I mean, if the devil, if the evil one is the master of disguise, the master of deceit, then wow, what a great vehicle to latch onto. He'll jump on the bandwagon, he'll employ himself as some interdimensional being that's here to save the universe, and lo and behold, he's tricked everybody, and he's got us in the palm of his hand. Now, I'm not saying I believe that. I'm just saying it's something to think about. I mean, do you ponder that? Again, if we believe in these incredulous, Andrew Bashago, stories about, 20 and back to Mars, or Corey Good's story, the 20 and back, or that there's these slave colonies on Mars. I mean, if you're going to buy into those kinds of stories, then it's not really too far-fetched to think that there could be an evil spiritual component to the ufological genre that we speak about, that we know and love, right? I mean, it makes sense. So, I wanted to throw that out there today. I've been pondering that. It's an interesting thought. And what if that were to happen? I mean, it's almost like something out of the movies, isn't it? It's like something that you would see at the movies. You can't even comprehend it. But what if the government knows something, and I'm not giving the government any credit here for anything because I don't trust them as far as I could throw them. But what if there is a component? What if some of these gents up in the higher echelon of the Pentagon know something that Luis Elizondo doesn't know? You know, we laugh and we say, oh, yeah, my superiors didn't want to do anything with this ufology thing. They're afraid to move forward with disclosure because they believe there's an evil component or that there's a demon end of things, a demon angle to it. But what if? I mean, you have to consider it. You know, if you go back through time and study theology, as I have, growing up as a Catholic, you look at the Vatican and the Vatican archives and what they have in their vaults, the secrets that they have that we don't know about, that they won't tell us about. I mean, you know it's not, you know, peaches and cream. There's some serious demonic things going on, right? And again, I said this yesterday in my video when I put the video out, that life is not black and white to me. It's not good or bad. It's many shades of gray. So I just think, you know, we have to be cognizant of that. We have to be thoughtful of that. We can't be deceived. I mean, you know, we want to meet aliens. Yes, I invite them into my art studio all the time. This is a safe haven for any alien that wants to come and visit me. You know, I'll introduce you to my family. You know, we can drink a beer or water or milk or whatever it is that you would, you know, partake in. This is a safe environment. Love to make a friendship, a long-term friendship, but it's probably like they're talking to, you know, for them, it would be like talking to a white mice, you know, like a mouse for me, in terms of, you know, my intelligence level compared to theirs. So, but anyways, I try to invite them in, and I'm very serious about it. I talk to them spiritually, and I invite them in, but the last thing I want to do in my art studio or my home is to invite in any kind of demonic spirit. You know, we've seen movies throughout time about exorcisms and The Exorcist and The Omen and things of that sort. And the last thing I want to do is invite in evil spirits or an evil interdimensional being into my house or into my art studio or anywhere near me. That's not me. I'm not about that. I'm all about the light. And if you go back to the Linda Moulton Howe show, they specifically talked about that there's this war going on in interdimensional space for the souls, you know, and that's the prize, not the body, but the soul. And you know, we grow up learning that as Christians, you know, that your soul is everything, that you want to save your soul, right? And you know, one of the gents that was on there was talking about that, you know, once we get through all of the science and we get through all of the, you know, the material sciences and we study all of this stuff, we're going to find out that the theologians were probably correct all along and we should have been following their lead. So it's interesting. Something to consider, you know, and I wanted to just toss that out there and see what you guys thought. Again, thanks for following me. I have a small following, and I really do appreciate it. I know there are a few people out there that are much larger than I am. I mean, way larger. I'm just small potatoes, and I don't have the fancy microphone. I apologize for that. I don't have a fancy microphone or fancy studio or, you know, graphics behind me or anything like that. But I do try to be creative, and I try to be original, and I'm going to try to keep it this way no matter how many subscribers I get. And again, I'm not looking for subscribers. I'm not looking for them. If you want to subscribe, great. If not, I'm doing this just because someday maybe somebody will look back and find these videos and it'll be maybe some enlightenment, possibly some historical value to them, maybe not. But if you want to subscribe, that's great. But what I'm trying to say is I'm going to try to keep with this format for as long as I can, as large as I get, if I get large. That's not my goal, and at the rate I'm going, I'm not going to get very large. But thank you for your patronage. I do appreciate it. And remember out there, as I say all along, please take care of your animals, love your animals, take care of your elders, be kind to one another on social media, and everybody be good to one another, all right? We got a lot going on that's going to be coming up pretty soon with disclosure, and we may find that during this disclosure, some things may be disclosed that we're not going to be real happy about in the end. So let's just keep an open mind, and we'll go from there. All right. So this is Artsy Dude at the Artsy Dude channel signing off for now. Keep being creative, and I love you guys. Peace.